Welcome everybody to this new analysis of trigonometrics. My name is Dario and today we will analyze Novo Nordisk. As usual, we're going to use the T-cycle analysis, a unique methodology that based on time is able to calculate in a statistical way the future direction of the price. So let's start with this law occurred on the 26th of February 2022. For your reference, you can always rely on the legend here to have an idea how long the minimum and the maximum duration of a cycle can last. So with this law, we have had a T plus a 6, which is a 2-year cycle, or T plus 7, which is a multi-year between 3 and 5 years of duration. And this downward yearly cycle lasted 198 days, which is close to a minimum duration of a T plus 5, 190 days. This T plus 5 has been divided in a first T plus 4, 118 days, and a second T plus 3 that lasted 79 days. We can always sum up the durations, and therefore here we have had our yearly downward cycle. We always have to study also the upward cycle, which are basically the other flip of the coin, connecting top to the other tops. In this case, we have had an upward cycle that lasted 97 days, T plus 4, and a second T plus 4, which ended up with this top with a total duration of 123 days. Now, if we sum up the first T plus 4 or 6 months upward cycle and the second 6 months upward cycle, we have a total duration of 220 days. So here we have all the necessary and sufficient condition to have a complete T plus 5. So a complete yearly upward cycle. So after a nearly upward cycle, we might expect either a Bayes-Tongue, which is an extra time, or we might expect a new T plus 5. Or, considering the time, we might have another T plus 4 that can have this shape, because we have as a maximum duration 338 days. So basically here we have again time, and this will be the best case scenario for long positions, to climb up until the until August 23rd of August 2024 at most, which is a condition that can seldomly happen, but still we have to count that into the possibilities. Now, would be, first of all, the best case scenario for the long positions. So here we have the T plus 4, and we might climb up until the 23rd of August. But in order to have this condition, or if here we have, rather than a T plus 4, a new T plus 5 with more push to the downward side, we have to calculate at which point in time we are with the downward cycles. So let's focus also on this part. From this law occurred on the 11th of July 2023, we have had a first T plus 4 with a total duration of 107 days, and a second T plus 4 that is arrived at 82 days. So we don't have yet the minimum time, which is 94 days, to close this T plus 4. And from this low, so the time elapsed is 189 days, which is not the minimum duration for just one day for a T plus 5. So what we can say to this particular point in time, we can say that given that from this top we have had a good push toward the downside, and here from a downward cycle perspective, we don't have yet the minimum duration to close the T plus 5. And rather, from the upwards cycle perspective, we have already the necessary condition to have um, um, a T plus 5 completed. The likelihood to proceed further to the downsides is higher compared to the likelihood to go back up to the top. Because here we don't have yet the condition to close the T plus 5. As simple as this. But if we are in the scenario where we have had this first T plus 4, this second T plus 4, and here we're going to have a shape of this kind. In order to have this scenario, we need to go back to the top before 47 days. Because with the 47 days spent lower to this top, we will have the condition to have a T plus 5. So according to the introduction of the T cycle analysis, a video that is published on this YouTube channel, to have a cycle of a certain degree, we need to spend 2 degrees less as a cycle under or over a specific top or low, considering a downward or an upward cycle for its development. So if in this case we're going to have a T plus 5, we need a T plus 3 in terms of duration, which is 48 days under the stop. And the time elapsed here is only at 23 days. So if we are in a condition where this is a T plus 4, the bounce back to the top and with the breakup of this top needs to occur within 47 days, right? And which means that the price should go back to the top before the 14th of May. So if the price, and I repeat, goes back to the top and breaks it up before the 14th of May, then we will have this condition. And therefore, we can keep rising. But if we will not have such condition, then we will be in a situation where the downward cycle will prevail over the upward cycle, and therefore we will continue to have a downtrend to close the T plus 5, which can happen before 190, which can happen after 190 days and within 338 days. I hope this is clear. Another interesting thing is that here we have some earnings. So this thing can be the excuse either to push the price further up to the top, and in that case we will know how long we can proceed climbing up, Otherwise, we will have more than enough time to start closing this T plus 5, because here we have had only 189 days, and at the time of the earnings we will have 206 days, but we can continue to further go to the downside until 338 days. Now the thing is that we will have also to close the upward cycle. So first upward cycle T plus 2, then a second T plus 2 eventually with a closing of a T plus 3, and so on. So the push of the upward, potentially T plus 5 upward cycle will allow to close also the downward cycle, unless we go back to the top, as said, within 47 days. So before the 14th of May, 2024. So I hope this analysis has given you enough information to plan your trading or your investments. Thanks for watching, and see you to the next episode.